So I rented a little space on Lincoln Boulevard, which was our first opportunity. And that's when you walked in as a student, and pick it up from there. We met.
Well, I rode my motorbike down there, and I walked in, and you were very gracious and met me. You had like a little teaching room and then a little workshop room. Mm-hmm. And so I sat down and played drums horribly. I mean, I was like stiff as a board, match grip, missing every rim shot. And he goes,
I don't remember it was that bad.
It was bad. And so you said, look, I'm going to get you this. We're going to start, put the stick this way, and teach you the rudiments. And so I had a rubber pad. And I said, a rubber pad? I want to play rock and roll. I don't want to play on a rubber pad. And he said, that's what it takes. So I went back to, I didn't go back to anywhere. I had no place to live, really. And so Don says, well, you could stay here. So I didn't have a sleeping bag, but we had some cardboard. And I put it on the floor in that little workshop area. And I would spend the night. And Don let me do it. You know, he says, hey, you know.
It was illegal, but we were keeping an eye on it. It was good weather.
It was all right. And but that was cool. And Don would go off and work in Gardena, was it?
That was a gig I had for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it was like at a supper club.
Yeah.
Anyway, so those startup days were a little depressing, but they were actually exciting. Yeah. And we managed to really start to get to know each other. And I think the more we talked about me learning to play drums, which was a monumental task for Don, he said, you're not doing it right.
Well, I'm going to clear up this story now for the last time, because John goes on about how I said he wasn't a good drummer, and I wasn't referring to his drumming style, because as a teacher, you're not going to tell your student they're not good. They're going to be going through periods where they're going to be getting better and better. But when week 3 came around, and I know exactly what we were talking about, because as a teacher, I wasn't teaching people what to play, because you're in town in LA and you can study with the best drummers in the world and go watch them play. It was more how you would build the foundation of building your technique. That's what Freddie Gruber was all about.
Right.
So how you would utilize your body to follow and motivate the bounce of the stick. And then you could go out and learn how to play whatever you wanted. So kind of taking John back to kind of the fundamental, and people that just wanted to go out there and play rock and roll and not really learn the fundamentals, that's another, that they could go study with somebody else, was kind of the way I looked at it. And I always had a backlog of students through that whole almost 15-year period that I taught 40, 50 students a week. But there was a point where I was showing John, and I'm going to show you out there now, that when you bring your arm up and you turn it and you make a stroke, you turn your wrist out to the side. You don't come up like this. So week 1, I show him that. He comes in. I said, no, it's not quite like that. Week 2, no, it's not quite like that. Week 3, I said, no, John, it's like this. And you said, I don't want to do it that way. And I said, well, you're the worst student I've ever had. And at that point, we were kind of trading lessons a little bit. And your exact words were, okay, then what do you want to do now?
Exactly.
Exactly what you said.